Dynamax adventures suck. There, I said it. Now before people get all offended and go, well, you're Velisify, of course you hate everything. That's just wrong. Pokemon Sword and Shield are my second favorite Pokemon games, and I am the most supportive Poketuber when it comes to Game Freak, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Pokemon's direction as a whole, because this is an incredible game. What it brought to the quality of life of Pokemon is amazing, and then the Isle of Armor just elevated it even more. You farm raids, you end up with Armorite ore, you spin them at the Digging Paw, you hop on over to Digging Duo, you get tons of resources, you go back to the Cramomatic, which is one of the greatest things ever introduced in Pokemon, you get tons of items, and then you're just ready. You have like a limitless amount of like competitive ready Pokemon doing raids to get experience candies. Like everything about the game's flow is so amazing. There's also some really cool things that were added in with the Crown Tundra. But Dynamax Adventures ain't it, and that is what this video is going to be about. Join in on the discussion down below, comment, leave a like, share it with your friends, because the biggest thing about it is, like, this is supposed to be the shiny hunting feature. You hear about 1 in 100 shiny odds, and that's just the perfect thing. It's like, oh, we actually have like legit shiny hunting in Pokemon Sword and Shield for once, but it's actually horrible, and we can just straight go to the numbers for that. So when it comes to Dynamax Adventures, it could take 12 to 15 minutes, maybe even longer, to complete a Dynamax Adventure. So let's say you're doing 5 complete Dynamax Adventure raids an hour. Well, you're only getting access to 20 Pokemon at 1 in 100 odds. So it's going to take 5 hours. Also, you could do it the other way around. You're doing 5 raids, but it's a 1 in roughly 25 chance that you see a shiny Pokemon out of all those raids. And that's like best case scenario, 12-minute raids with NPCs, because if you add other people, it's just going to take longer, so you're not going to get those 12-minute raids. And also, those numbers could get even worse. If you fail a raid, that's going to hurt us substantially. If we're actually having 15-minute raids on average, you are not going to be finding a lot of Pokemon with those odds. So like 1 in 5 hours is kind of the most optimistic when it comes to getting a shiny Pokemon. And because of that, we have other reference points. So this is on Reddit. I've also kind of seen like a pretty good sample size of people saying they're getting about 65 to 80 eggs an hour, depending on all the crazy stuff they're doing. This person's like, I collect 4 boxes of eggs, which is 120 in about 45 minutes, depending on if I get distracted or stuff in between. Also depends on the Pokemon. If you're doing 2 of the same species Pokemon, that's going to be a lot faster than with just Ditto, but you need like the shiny Ditto, or not the shiny, the Japanese Ditto, so you can Masuda method properly. Either way, then about 30 minutes to hatch them. So yeah, it's looking like if you're going like super high end, you can get around 70, 80 eggs an hour. So let's just say like, alright, you're hatching 80 Pokemon an hour. Technically, it also takes a bit of time to release them, so maybe drop down like 75 or something. And then the math is kind of weird on the Masuda method, because it's supposed to be +8, but there's an off by 1 error. So like, you know, we have this from the actual data mine, you know, Masuda reroll, or Masuda rerolls equals 6. So you get 6 extra rerolls, making it a 7 in 4,096 chance, then +2, so it should be a 9 in 4,096 chance. But a lot of people interpret it as 8 in 4,000. So it's kind of like whenever you look up Masuda method, people say it's 1 in 512, even though it should be 1 in 455. However, there's an off by 1 error that makes it 1 in 512 anyways. The numbers are weird, but we have math. It takes an average of 473 eggs to breed a shiny through Masuda method in Generation 6, but it's still going to be the same things, because people interpret Masuda as 6 out of 4,000 instead of the +6 out of 4,000. But then logarithmic function, boom, 1 in 470. So it's about every 6-ish hours, you're going to see a shiny Pokemon from Masuda method, but that's slower. Therefore, Dynamax Adventures are better. However, you get to target the Pokemon you want, and it can be competitive. With Dynamax Adventures, it's RNG. It's not like, oh, you found some shiny dust in the raid, and you get to choose which Pokemon now has an alternative color. No, if you didn't want the shiny Stunkfist, well, you get the shiny Stunkfist now, and all of those hours go to waste for a Pokemon you don't really care about, instead of targeting like the shiny starter or just any Pokemon that you're trying to Masuda method. So that makes it a lot worse, and also, God forbid you get a Generation 1 Pokemon. The odds of shiny Pokemon in Let's Go are so good. We're talking about shiny Pokemon per hour instead of hours per shiny Pokemon. There have been hours where I've gotten like 4 shiny Pokemon. I don't think I've gone longer than an hour and a half without a shiny in Pokemon Let's Go. That's also with a species you can roughly target with the catch combo, and even if you miss it, you can find it in a reasonable amount of time, instead of it just being pure RNG. At least you, like, focus it down to the route and stuff, and you're just getting tons of shinies anyways. So, it doesn't really feel that fulfilling, and then also just kind of dealing with the frustration of Dynamax Adventures in general. When I started off with Dynamax Adventures, I loved it. I was like, yo, this is fun. This feature's actually coming through. And then I got spoiled because without the shiny charm, I got 2 shinies in the same raid. And I mean, maybe that's it about the Dynamax Adventures. There's that super high variance to where the ultimate in shenanigans can happen, and like you get that shiny legendary Pokemon, you get the shiny Pokemon you wanted, or maybe you find multiple shiny Pokemon because the odds are theoretically that low to get it to happen. But I then did hours of Dynamax Adventures with a shiny charm, and I didn't get any. And also starting off, I was like, yo, this is cool. I'm just going to kind of go through and catch all legendary Pokemon I want, because I don't care about shiny legendaries. So I'm just going to, you know, fill up my boxes, kind of get some of those Pokemon. Maybe I'll use them competitively. Now, I don't play restricted formats. Some of these are going to be completely useless to me, like Necrozma, Groudon, Pokemon like that. Yeah, I've caught a Suicune, got some Ultra Beasts, but I already brought over a ton of Ultra Beasts that I caught in Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon because that's super fast. Also, if you're just warp riding for random, just regular shiny Pokemon that aren't legendaries, the odds are like 1 in 5. It's like a 20% chance or something absurd like that, and it roughly takes about the same amount of time. So you can get shiny Pokemon. Like, I got in shiny Pokemon to the degree where I held up my 3DS to a friend, and it was like a shiny Magcargo, and he's like, yo, you got a shiny Pokemon, it's so cool. And I turned off my 3DS and went, that's how easy Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon shiny hunting is. I don't care about this shiny Pokemon. So there's that. Here's some extra like legendaries I've caught. This is Transfer. This is a Lele from Pokemon Sword and Shield. So it's kind of cool, but legendaries are pretty devalued if you've already been playing Pokemon, and it still takes a decent amount of time to get to a legendary with no guarantee to catch it. Like, yeah, it's a 100% chance of the ball, but you could fail the same legendary over and over with NPCs, RNG, or if you don't have like a friend group together, or if you do have friends, it could still take 20 minutes to coordinate it. Okay, but what about the shiny legendary Pokemon? Dynamax Adventures, despite having the 1 in 100 chance, take the same amount of time as soft resetting in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. That is not a progressive feature. That is not an increase to quality of life, because here's how it goes. Get about 2 soft resets for legendaries a minute on the 3DS. That's 120 encounters an hour. With the shiny charm, it's roughly 1 in 1300 to get the legendary Pokemon, so about 11 hours of soft resetting, whereas if you're doing 5 raids at 1 in 100 an hour for the legendary at the end, with no guarantee you actually beat it to be able to capture it, that's actually going to take much longer, isn't it? That's going to be 20 hours until you see a shiny legendary Pokemon through this method. And really the only thing it benefits is like rare ball collectors. It's like, okay, cool, you can get the Love Ball Groudon if you really need that in your life. That completely unnecessary cosmetic on top of the other unnecessary cosmetic. Cool. You can get that a little easier in this game. So this shiny hunting method is worse than other shiny hunting methods in the same game, and it's slower than the previous game, and it's even slower than the previous generation for getting shiny, special, legendary Pokemon. Okay, what about other things inside of Dynamax Adventures, like Dynite Ore? Dynite Ore is certainly good, right? No, it's worthless except for the ability patch. Like, yes, the ability patch is one of the coolest items ever in Pokemon, but I feel like they have, like, with how expensive this is, there has to be other ability patch things coming out. Like, you get the ability capsule for getting high ranks in online competitive. Maybe they're going to give away an ability patch if you get Master Ball tier. That'd be pretty cool. We gotta keep an eye out for that. Other future events, there might just be an event where they're like, hey, free ability patch because you guys could probably use an extra one because they're very expensive. Maybe the reward for competing in some online competitions will be an ability patch. Like, it's not a guarantee, but I think there's going to be more than the extra one that you get from the story and then 1 for 200 each, because you kind of need a lot of them depending on the Pokemon that you're going to be getting. But the rest of these rewards are absolutely useless. Like, the amount of time that it takes to get an Armorite Ore in the Isle of Armor by beating a 3-star raid in less than a minute just does not scale with 3 Dynite Ore at all. Especially if you're only getting 40 to 50 Dynite Ore an hour? That's horrible. Wishing Pieces, Dynamax Candy, Experience Candies. If you are actually spending Dynite Ore on Experience Candies, you are trolling. None of these items are good, except for the Beast Ball, which is way overpriced. And the ability patch, which is actually like still probably overpriced, but a very, very good item. Like if you got a shiny Pokemon that you bred that you wanted the hidden ability but you didn't get it, that's going to save that, legendary Pokemon, etc. But I mean, bottle caps, you can craft those in the Cram-O-Matic, or you can just get them from the Digging Duo. I have 200 bottle caps, as you can see right there, 205. The ability capsule. If you want an ability capsule, you just go to the Eevee raid, and then you beat it, and you get 3 rare candies for beating that, and you put it in the Cram-O-Matic and get an ability capsule. And then Premier Ball, just buy 10 Pokeballs. All of these items, like, why is it 2 Dynite Ore for this when I can get them half off in the Isle of Armor? So the shiny hunting is trash. The rewards are trash. The gameplay to getting the Dynite Ore is also all over the place. Like, yes, if you want to do Dynamax adventures super casually, just to eventually catch a legendary Pokemon and maybe find a shiny along the way, that's cool. That's what the feature is meant for. But this is not like a high efficiency, min-max, really awesome new feature that you can use inside the Crown Tundra. It's, I can maybe get some of the legendaries and that's kind of cool. And then endless Dynamax adventures. This is just way too much variance from the RNG. You can get super lucky and get a ton of Dynite Ore, or you could get unlucky and it's actually less Dynite Ore per hour than if you just did regular adventures, and at least then you get to keep the shiny and legendary Pokemon. So, like the endless Dynamax adventures aren't worth it. It's very hard to queue up with other people. It's very hard to get a group together for long enough to do well enough to get all those things. NPCs are still going to grief you. And you could also just get super unlucky and find a Zygarde at the end of Den 3 or at the end of like floor 3 and then it's over. And then the worst thing, actually it might not be the worst thing after everything I've talked about. I think the rewards are actually the worst thing about it, because I talked about all that crisp, seamless gameplay from earlier where you just play the game, you turn around and you feel the rewards. You don't feel that in Dynamax Adventures. Like, yes, if I got candies at the end of this, like if I got maybe even slightly reduced rewards, you know, if I got the rewards from 3 raids for completing a 4 raid adventure, or, you know, maybe even half or something, like if I get some candy for this, if I was able to pull a little bit of extra resources out of this, that's really cool. But overall, if I get, let's say, 13 Dynite Ore in 15 minutes because I actually caught the legendary Pokemon, I go and get 4 extra large candies for that. That's awful. And that also means I don't get the ability patch. But what I was going to say is another horrible feature is you can't catch legendaries on repeat. We're going to have Pokemon Go transfer. We already have all these other previous generation transfers. People can just make other accounts and then play the DLC on those accounts and just catch all the legendary Pokemon again. And they actually don't even have to trade any of the Pokemon over that they already have because it's all rental teams. So, I mean, there's already, and then you just, you know, you can just single save file, or you can like single console Pokemon Home, catch all the legendary multiple times. Why? Like, what's the point then? And then 2 shiny Pokemon, while it is cool, you also get screwed over because you can only pick 1. Like, there isn't a keep a shiny Pokemon clause, which would also be fair. Let's say you catch all the legendary Pokemon, you keep doing Dynamax adventures, and you find a second legendary and it's like a Latios or something. You should just be able to keep all the shiny Pokemon for free automatically. Like, the odds of finding a second shiny legendary Pokemon are so low and it takes so long. Just let them have that duplicate legendary with everything else that's been going on. That doesn't even include the hacking that's devalued the entire shiny market, making all of this pointless in the end, as well as just devaluing the value of legendaries as well, because pretty much everything is hacked out there now. So, I mean, it completely falls apart. Like, you're just better off playing elsewhere in the game, unless you absolutely need an ability patch. You're just better off playing elsewhere in the game, getting hidden abilities naturally, the student methoding for the Pokemon that you want, doing Armorite raids so you can get the Watts and then do Cram-O-Matic for anything you could be missing. It's just not efficient. It's just not good. And then it can also just be frustrating for no reason because it's stupid RNG. I started off super bullish. I started off happy about this. I heard about the no duplicate legendaries. I was shook, but I was still like, you know what? Let's give it a chance. And then when the game came out, I loved it. And now the more I play it, I played it for hours after that. I was like, this is kind of lame. I just want to actually like play Pokemon. So there we go. If you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.